intelligently function.
Okay, so our recording is on. So
I call this meeting of the Warrenville Public Library District Board of Trustees to order. It is Wednesday, August 19th at 7:02 p.m. Can you check and make sure Jackie is okay?
yes, hold on.
I don't want to keep going in case.
She's good.
Okay. This meeting is held as a virtual meeting given that the Illinois governor has declared the coronavirus pandemic a disaster. I have determined that an in-person meeting is not practical or prudent because of this disaster. I'd like to take the roll call at this time. Trustee Warren.
Remote, present.
Trustee Stahl.
Present.
Trustee Ritsika.
Present.
Trustee Richardson is not present. Trustee Lazan is not present. Trustee DeRocher is not present. Trustee Pika is here. The next item for business is we will need to appoint a secretary pro tem, as we do not have our secretary tonight. Any volunteers? Anyone want to appoint someone?
I'll do it.
Okay, I think I need a motion. So Heather, can you move, please?
I move that we appoint Trustee Rick Warren as Secretary Pro Tem.
Okay, and can I get a second, Cindy?
Second. I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much, everybody. All right, Rick, you're the secretary. Do a good job, okay?
I'll try.
All right.
Jack, you got your ears on?
All right, moving on to item number,
Can we place a hold for a minute?
yes.
Jill cannot find a clickable Zoom link, so
Okay.
let me
Just getting
try.
a pause, as they would say at Notre Dame. We're pausing the game. I still have your email if you need me to forward it.
Nope, it'll take me a minute.
Cindy's still on?
She is.
Yes, I'm here.
We don't get to see her smiling face.
She's
but
on the
she's
phone.
there, on the phone. And we're glad she.
I can't. I'm gonna have to leave. No, I can't. Sorry.
Hold on.
Do you have an email?
Uh-huh.
Is it in there?
Uh-huh. Okay. Panelist for library, regular board of trustees. Tell her I'm.
Oh, that will not work.
Oh, good thing I didn't try to use.
Okay.
I have this, but it's follow this link. And, oh, I can take a picture of this.
No, she needs a link that she can click on.
Okay. I don't think I can do chat on my phone.
Okay, I think I got it.
No.
We'll wait till she can join. me see. She's here. I have Jamie. I have Jill. I do not have. Okay, we got Jill in. I'm gonna,
7:08, and Jill has joined our meeting. Hi, Jill.
Hi.
I see that you're still at work.
she's using that,
Cell phone.
yeah, device that's registered.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who the account is.
All right. Are you good, Miss Sandy, or shall I pause?
No, I have to fix some other things, but you can go.
I was getting ready to dance on the table. So, Rick, just to catch you up, Jill, Rick is serving as our secretary pro tem, as trustees Lozan and DeRocher are not with us this evening. So we are on number 3, the approval of the agenda. First of all, I would like to recommend we remove items 19 and 20, which is the closed session and related discussion action item for the review of the closed session minutes. We will move number 20 to the regular agenda as item 8. No, it's item A. I'm sorry. And that will be the semi-annual review of closed session minutes. And then we will would like to add 18A, which, as you saw in Sandy's email, is a revision of library policy COVID-19 addendum we need to discuss. So I would like a motion to approve the agenda. Well, first let me back up and ask if any other trustees have anything they would like to change. Reminder, if anything is in the consent agenda that you want to discuss, it should be removed and added to new business.
Trustee Ruzicka moves to approve the agenda as amended.
I second.
Motion
Trustee Stoll seconds.
I'm sorry?
Trustee Stoll seconds the motion.
Motion was made by trustee Ruzicka and seconded by trustee Stoll. Trustee Stoll?
Aye.
Trustee Warren?
Aye.
Trustee Ruzicka?
Aye.
Trustee Pika also votes aye. Motion carries. Director Whitmer, any presentations?
Didn't ask me.
Sorry. Trustee Richardson?
Aye.
See, without your picture, it's very difficult.
I don't know why it's not there. My camera's on.
I can only see a telephone with.
I only see a black space, but my camera's
Yeah,
on.
that's all I see with you.
Oh, you know what? I think I know why.
Okay? I'm gonna wait while you. Because I looked up and I went, ah, there you go. Trustee
I was-
Richardson?
Aye.
Okay. Director Whitmer, any presentations tonight?
No.
Are there any public indicating they would like to make a comment?
Let me flip back to that.
This is not as easy as it looks, guys. Trust me. I'm watching and knowing she needs 2 more pairs of pants.
Sorry, I'm working 3 different devices here, and I
That's
lost
what I mean. You need 2 more
one.
pairs of pants.
Yeah. I checked before the meeting. There was nothing, but I best check again. No public comments.
Okay, that being said, is there any correspondence for you to share with us?
No.
That being said, we'll move on to item number 7, which is the consent agenda. If I could have a motion, it is on page 3 in your packet.
I move that we approve the consent agenda. Don't we have to have the secretary read it?
Yeah, that would help.
I should read.
Rick Warren.
This-
Rick.
Thank you, Heather.
Consent agenda for this evening's meeting. Item A, approve minutes of the July 15, 2020 regular Board of Trustees meeting. Item B, receive and file revised financial report for June. Item C, receive and file financial report for July. Item D, approve payment of invoices in the amount of $71,374.55 for the period of July 16, 2020 through August 19, 2020, including electronic payments and checks number 7788 through 7843. Check number 7788 is voided. Item E, approve transfer of $150,000 from commercial checking account to operating checking account. And
I move that we approve the consent agenda as read.
I second that.
Motion was made by trustee Stahl and seconded by trustee Ritzika. Any discussion? Trustee Stahl,
Aye.
trustee Ritzika,
Aye.
trustee Richardson,
Aye.
trustee Warren,
aye.
trustee Pika also votes aye, motion carries. Moving on to regular agenda, we now have item A, discussion action resulting from the review of, I've got to do Sandy now, I've got to get my papers. Semi-annual review of closed session minutes.
I move that we approve destruction of verbatim recordings of the March 20th, 2019 and April 17th, 2019 closed sessions.
Can I have a second?
A second.
Motion is made by trustee Stahl and seconded by trustee Richardson. Any discussion? Trustee Warren,
Aye.
trustee Richardson,
Aye.
trustee Ritzika,
Aye.
trustee Stahl,
Aye.
trustee Pika also votes aye, motion carries. Number 9, unfinished business. Does anyone have any unfinished business they'd like to discuss? No? New business, item 10. First one is to approve the library closure. And that is on page 30 of your packet. So I need a motion, and this would be for Art on the Prairie in the event.
Did I miss, I'm sorry, Jerry, did I miss the paying of the invoices motion, or is that?
That was in the consent.
Okay, all right, that's what I thought it might be.
I know it's different this time because we put it all in there. Okay.
I move to approve the library closure on Saturday, September 19th for Art on the Prairie.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion was made by trustee Ritzika and seconded by trustee Warren. Trustee Stahl,
Aye.
trustee Ritzika, wait,
Aye.
Hold on.
stop, because Sandy wants to say something.
I need somebody on page, Cindy, can you amend your motion to be the suggestion motion that's on page 30?
Page 30, I amend the emotion, the motion, not the emotion. I amend the motion
Okay,
of the approval of the library closure.
okay, can you read, because it does have some, I know what Sandy's going for. Do you have the packet?
I'm on page 30.
Okay, can you read that second paragraph verbatim? please?
Suggested motion,
Yes. please.
approve closure of library on Saturday, September 19th, 2020, if Art on the Prairie is held and pay employees scheduled to work on September 19th for their scheduled hours.
Okay, that's what we wanted in there.
Thanks, Cindy.
Thank you.
Okay, sure.
And that was trustee Rizika reading, I don't know, Jackie, if it's going to be amended or however you want to do it, and trustee Warren was the second. Any other discussion, questions, comments? Okay, trustee Rizika,
Aye.
trustee Warren,
Aye.
trustee Richardson,
Aye.
trustee Stahl,
Aye.
trustee Pika also votes aye, the motion carries. New business item B, page 31, review and approve Illinois Public Library annual report for fiscal year 2020.
I move that we approve the library's annual report for fiscal year 2020 and authorize Director Whitmer to submit it to the state library.
Trustee Rizika seconds.
Motion was made by trustee Stahl and seconded by trustee Rizika. Discussion,
I have a question.
please.
So I just need, Cindy, I know you dropped off your letter today. I have not yet.
Yes, was I supposed to drop off the actual paperwork with my initials on each page? Because I can bring that back.
No, all I needed from you was the piece on letterhead that you signed that said everything was in good order.
Okay.
So
Am I
I'm sorry,
to come in and redo something, or what do you need me to do?
I haven't seen it yet. All I need to know from, I'm going to ask you first, and then I'm going to ask Rick.
Okay.
If you found any errors in the secretary's record?
No,
You found-
no, I did not find any errors. I checked everyone off and looked at them first, but I did not initial anything after I read it. So should I bring the paperwork in and initial
I will have to look at it tomorrow. I haven't been in my office yet today, so
Okay,
I will have to look at it tomorrow.
I did bring that in and submit it today, yes.
Okay, so you saw that everything was complete.
Yes, I did.
Excellent. Rick, how about you?
I haven't seen it. I got your evaluation, but there weren't any closed session meetings notes in, that I saw.
Okay, then we cannot approve the annual report, and we'll have to schedule a special meeting to take care of that before September 1st.
Okay,
Okay, do I need to withdraw my motion then?
Yes, please.
Okay. I withdraw the motion approving submitting the fiscal year annual report.
Can that be done online, Sandy?
We'll have to schedule another meeting
But it can be done online.
if you determine
Yeah.
it's appropriate to have a remote meeting, yes.
Okay.
Somebody will have to be here in the building,
Well, I
but,
can do that. That's no problem.
Okay.
But- All right, so we can talk about that after we adjourn. I'll now turn the floor over to our director to provide insight into her report. It's on page 51.
is it on page 51?
Well, either that or my glasses are so fogged up.
Oh, yes, okay, just the latest updates with COVID-19. We did start grab and go service. That is going fairly well. We average anywhere from 50 up to 100 people a day. On Monday, we had 116 people in here over the 4 hours that we were open. We are working toward reopening the library's book return 24/7, but we have had to order some very expensive return carts to make that happen. So we are waiting for those to be delivered probably in about 4 weeks. And today, Jamie Purpich and I met to discuss what Curbside 2.0 will look like. Because the curbside pickups have dropped off considerably since we reopened. We were doing, the week of July 27th was our first week we were open, and we had about 130 pickups that week. Last week we only had 32. This week we expect it to be even lower. So in order to make the best use of our staff, we're looking at changing that a little bit, which will probably involve closing off pickup downstairs at the Mount Street entrance, and it would all be moved upstairs to the main entrance on Stafford Place. So stay tuned. More information will be coming, I think, in e-news a week from today. We are also looking to extend the grab and go hours. Right now, we're trying to see if we can make it with the staff that are available to be open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. and Saturday from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. So we're looking at possibly making that happen sometime in mid-September. And then
Good.
there's information here on results from the test that is being done on library materials and how long the virus stays viable. So some of those items came back after last month's meeting. Magazines and board books we're not circulating board books at this time, and the magazines are being held back for a little bit longer than 3 days in quarantine. And then just yesterday, they released some additional results with some other materials, which at this time I don't believe we're going to change from a 3-day quarantine. It seems unlikely that the virus would survive or be transmittable on the materials that were tested, but we are waiting for additional tests, and we may move back to 4 or 5 days at some point. SWAN, as you know, we're transitioning to, or migrating to the SWAN consortium at the end of the year. So things are really picking up speed in that area. We've ordered some equipment. We continue our weekly meetings with the SWAN staff. And at the end of this month, some training opportunities are going to be available on a weekly basis for our staff. Right now, we've gotten our first assignment. So some of us are testing the data that we sent to them in their new system. So we're starting to see if all of our rules and policies have mapped over to the new system appropriately. Summer concerts, I've noted all of our concerts were canceled. I did submit a request to the Tourism and Arts Commission to ask them to reimburse 75% of the contracted costs. Our contracts did not allow us to really get out of the contract without guaranteeing or signing a new contract for next summer, and I'm not comfortable doing that, so we decided to pay out those performers. Because this is so uncertain, I'm making a decision, and maybe you guys can say yay, nay, whatever. I don't intend to apply for a grant for the concerts for next summer. If things turn around and it looks like we can have some concerts, I think we can have 2, possibly 3 of those using just our general funds from the library. But to pull off a full-scale concert series from June through August, I'm just not confident enough to try to make that happen. Any comments about that? Anything so far?
Was a wise one.
Will not applying next year cause any difficulty in applying subsequently?
No, it will not. It will not. In fact, I believe that they have, reduced the funding, or they've recommended a reduction in funding for the grants for next year. It's not a significant reduction, but it is a reduction. So I don't want to take anybody's, I don't want to take away the opportunity for another organization to get grant funds next year if I apply for a grant and then can't fulfill the terms of the grant or do the activities if somebody else is confident that they can do that. And the city is asking for grant applications to include what your kind of your perfect situation would be if COVID is resolved, but then they also want to plan for you, how are you going to carry out your event if COVID is not resolved. And we just simply do not have the resources here to carry it out if it is not resolved. Yeah. So it's a challenge. And then there are just some other things here that I thought you should be aware of. We're watching some information about a public act that was adopted last month, I believe, that declared November 3rd, which is General Election Day, to be a state holiday. And that legislation says that all government offices are to be closed on November 3rd. There's some question as to whether all government offices is intended just for statewide offices, or if it also includes local government entities like libraries and municipalities. So we're waiting for some information about that. Perhaps next month I will be bringing a resolution or something to the board to suggest that we close November 3rd, depending on how that information comes back. Jackie and I are also monitoring information about the president's executive order to defer payroll taxes. It's a little more complex than just deferring payroll taxes because it's a deferral. If we defer those taxes, we would have to get all of that money back from our employees in January, and we don't quite know how to do that. So we're just waiting for information from the Treasury Department and some guidance on that one. And then last on my report, I believe it's last, Paul and I attended a couple of virtual meetings with the school district and the park district representatives. They were looking for alternative spaces to have before and after school programs for the kids whose parents are working at this time. And the park district, I believe, is planning to run the program. They were just looking for space in case there are spaces that the park district filled. So I invited them to the library. We did a walkthrough and determined that there really was no space in the library that would be appropriate or sufficient for their needs. So we did offer to give them, to create a reading corner, loan them some books to use and some other resources. So we'll still keep in contact with them to see how we can support that program.
I have a question.
Yes.
They're both budgetary. These, this significant investment, how many parts are we getting for that amount, and can they be used for other things?
We've ordered 6 carts. We think that is sufficient. If we have a 4-day quarantine, there's a possibility we'll need more if we go higher than that. They're really specialized carts for that outdoor book return.
I was just wondering where we're getting that money from, and if we need to, I hate to say it, but maybe the book return doesn't need to be open as much as it is.
It is probably the #1 request that we have. So
okay.
I think if we ask the patrons to rank what are the most important things to restore as far as our services, I think that book return would be probably #1.
Then it justifies the expense. It was just kind of a jarring number all at once.
It definitely is a jarring number.
Yeah. And then my other question is, have we budgeted for these SWAN things we've had to buy for the SWAN program?
Yes. So the SWAN items are all budgeted.
Okay.
The book carts will come from, I believe it's from our reserve fund. We did, possibly from the corporate fund, but we did budget some in both areas for equipment related to COVID.
That's fine. I
Yep.
just wasn't aware that it was such a big number. So, but you have convinced me it's justified.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything else for Director Whitmer? Any questions on the library staff? If not, we'll go on to the assistant to the director's report, page 54. I think it's appropriate that we should all thank Lee. I saw in that report from Jackie that he has become Mr. Plexiglass. So I think that's wonderful, and I thank him. I know he's not on the call, but public services report is on page 56. If you did have time to review it before the meeting tonight, I think one thing that stood out in my mind is there are a lot of things happening that are related to our strategic plan, and I thank the staff for those efforts. Page 59, member services report. No champagne, sorry, but a very detailed report. And also, moving on to page 63, the marketing report. Another tidbit on page 61. The open rate on the weekly e-news is considerably higher than the industry average of 25%. I think that's excellent, and I thank Kathy for all her work on the marketing of our organization. And then page 63, if you didn't see that, I actually went to this and it was amazing. But we actually went viral. I think that's cool. Thank you. Questions on the technical report, page 64. Computer services report, page 65. Okay. Next meeting, we will have to, should we discuss that now or after the meeting? Our special meeting we'll have.
We'll have to discuss that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
another
as it
time.
stands now, our next meeting will be Wednesday, September 16th. However, we will have a meeting in the interim. The future agenda items are listed on page 67 if you have any questions. So we'll go to item 14, which is the treasurer's report. I'd like to ask Trustee Stahl.
I'm sorry, what?
Report.
Oh, the treasurer's report?
Yeah, I know you left us for a while.
Okay, so they had to revise the June financial report as Jackie discovered some of the voided transactions were not recorded. So we did have a revised financial report for this month. And Director Whitmer has submitted a request for TIF reimbursement for the city of Warrenville on July 28th. Administrator Coakley acknowledged the request and is reviewing it with city staff. And the really good news is property tax distribution. As of right now, we have approximately 52% of the extended levy. So we're looking in pretty good shape.
Thank you.
Pretty normal percentage for this time of the year, Sandy?
That is a normal percentage for this time of the year. More funds will be coming in
Soon.
later this month than in September, yes.
Good.
Secretary Pro Tem Warren, anything to report? Hello?
I'm sorry, it's hard to hear you, Jerry. What did you ask?
I have to wear my mask, sorry. Secretary Pro Tem Warren, anything? Okay, I'm moving on to the committee reports, and this would be Trustee Warren, you're up.
Oh, Rick, you're muted. Hold on.
Sorry,
Okay.
Secretary Pro Tem had no report. So Barb Rocher and I met last Tuesday to review what we might do as far as Sandy's self-evaluation and try to get that on the books for next month. So we had our meeting and we figured that we'd do it pretty much the same way that we did last year, except there may be some special questions that are relating to the closing and how the response to the COVID-19 was handled. And we'll look at that, and then I will be doing the compilation once the results are in. I guess she is sending out the link to the questionnaire.
I believe, did you talk to her today?
Just to yes. I don't know that she had any other information to pass along, except that she was unavailable to make tonight's meeting because an aunt of hers has gone into hospice and she was called out of town unexpectedly to attend because there was a family meeting emergency.
Trustee Warren, this is Trustee Rosika. Do you know when that will be online? Because I did fill in my director report today, the evaluation, and I'm all set.
Okay. I will be looking at those and seeing when they're complete, and then I will compile them and send them out to everybody.
The question on the table is, do you have any idea when the link will be available?
No,
Because it's due September 1st.
yes, I understand it.
Okay.
What's your email?
I will, yes, and everybody else too, so thank you.
Any questions of Rick and the Personnel Committee? Any other committees? Any trustee comments?
I guess the only other thing I was just going to offer, I should have said this, that I know I got my envelope from Sickich, so I know that Sandy and the auditors would appreciate that all to be returned as soon as possible. So I don't know.
Right.
So
Did everybody on the call get their envelope?
Yes.
Yes, I looked at it and filled it in.
Yes,
I'm all set to do it.
yes, and returned it.
Okay. Thank you, trustee Stahl. All right, I, as a trustee comment, would like to thank you again, I know we do every month, to Director Whitmer for her leadership during these difficult times. I think you're doing a good job restoring the library to its post-free, whatever. And I also think it's important to thank the staff that's helping you with the implementation. I'm hearing a lot of positive comments in the community, and thanks to you and your team. Any other items for information and/or discussion? If not, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Oh,
I'm
wait,
sorry.
I think, did we add,
Oh, no, I'm
That
sorry.
revision.
18A is here and I
Yep.
missed it.
okay,
We
sorry.
need to,
There's no motion on
this
this.
is a discussion only that'll be led by Director Whitmer regarding the COVID-19 policy addendum that she would like to work on prior to our next meeting.
Right.
Sorry, Sandy, I wrote it
That's
down.
okay, that's okay. So I think it was last month, we approved an addendum to the library use policy that said we were requiring people to wear masks and be socially distant when they're in the library.
Wore a nylon.
Yes, we had an individual wear what appeared to be just a nylon stocking, and so that is not the kind of mask that we intended. And it looks as if we have to be pretty specific, a little more specific in our policy about what types of masks we are acceptable. So I just wanted all of you to be aware and to ask if I have your permission between now and next month when we adopt a clearer policy, that we basically kind of use our best judgment and follow the advice of whoever. It's actually very difficult to find that specific advice.
Is there any boilerplate?
There is nothing on the CDC or the Illinois Department of Public Health or the World Health Organization that says what kind of mask materials are best.
It's really supposed to be the medical kind that the hospitals use.
Well, I don't think that that's necessarily true for us. I think they're trying to reserve
Okay.
those for people in the hospital.
Okay. Okay.
But, so I just have to dig a little bit and get to the bottom of that. So whether it's a mask similar to what I have on, which is, I don't know if it's a surgical or a medical mask, but it's not.
Well, they're white with the blue on the
Right.
outside. Yes.
Right. Or a homemade mask is fine as long as, you know, it's supposed to be at least 2 layers, if not 3 layers, but of a fabric that is a little more substantial than something that you can spray water through, I guess. So
Mm-hmm.
Have you benchmarked with other libraries?
right now, I do have some other library policies saved that I have to review, and I believe that those will be a little more.
Cross this bridge.
Right,
And
right.
as long as you're here, I'm not aware of it being mentioned at our church because we're not back in session, Jill. But if you cross this bridge yet,
Have I what? I'm sorry.
if you cross the bridge with what type of masks you're asking, are you having anybody?
No, we haven't because we don't foresee meeting together in the near
Yeah.
next couple months. So
So I'll check around. I'll even check. I think the DuPage Health Department may have something as well that they could advise us.
Mhm.
So
Mm-hmm.
if nobody's opposed to that, we'll go ahead and move forward with kind of enforcing.
Mhm.
So I had one question. I mean, I had a doctor's appointment today down at Northwestern, and it's interesting. While they are requiring a mask, they are specifically requiring you to take one of their masks. So even if you have one that's adequate, like the 2 layers, you still need to put one of their masks over your mask. And
That's right, Heather. They do that at CDH also.
But it's interesting that they have a kiosk so that somebody could take one, especially if they don't have one wearing it in. So, and I know that at the courthouse that they have been doing that, but having one so that if somebody walks in and isn't prepared with that they're able to have a mask so they can go in and conduct business.
We discussed giving out masks or having them available if someone did not have one. We'll revisit that, but that is an expense. And we decided not to do that because of the expense, but it may be something that we will have to undertake and then find money elsewhere in the budget to make up for that. I think that's going to be kind of the name of the game this year, is almost robbing Peter to pay Paul. But
how many people have we had? I mean, besides obviously this individual, I know there was one other individual that last month. I mean, is it a lot that you think that they would?
This is actually the first one I've heard. So
okay.
Other than
people have to have them everywhere they go, so it's
right.
not like
I don't think
it's not like they don't have access.
Right.
I think
You
they
do-
probably left them in the car and don't want to walk back and get them, so.
Right.
Regarding the one individual, did you turn that individual away?
No,
I think you would have been within your right to do so.
I wasn't. Right. I was not here. I think the staff, my understanding is the staff were just, I think honestly, a little shell-shocked by it, because really I think everyone so far has been good about wearing their mask in the building. Occasionally we have to remind people maybe to pull them up over their nose, but I know so many times the masks tend to slip down, they don't fit properly, but most people are compliant with that. And I think because we didn't have specific guidance in the policy, it was a face covering, but maybe it didn't meet what we were expecting to see. So
A nylon stocking is traditionally used to rob banks.
That's what I was thinking.
we actually had that discussion in our management meeting this week. So
Did we have a bank robbery lately?
no.
Oh, my.
He wasn't sure.
The trustee Rosika has a question. I do know that some elderly people are exempt due to physical breathing problems. What happens with that in the library?
So that our accommodation for individuals who either cannot wear a mask or do not want to wear a mask is the curbside service. So we would offer them curbside service. They could also be asked, if you sit on the bench outside of our entrance and let us know what you would like us to pull, we'll be happy to get those materials and bring them out to you.
That's a good idea.
I think we can be pretty flexible with that.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Yeah. Good question, Cindy.
Yes, because I did read that elderly people that have particular problems, they can't wear them. And my neighbor, she's 80, she can't wear one. And I just wondered if they wanted to come in and read a newspaper, are they allowed, or they sit outside and the newspaper will be brought to them? That's a good answer.
Okay. Heather, did you have another comment to add?
Well, the only thing I was going to add, because I had this happen to me the other night, I have a lot of masks in my car, but a neighbor said, hey, let's go do something. And I'm like, sure. So I hop in her car, and then as we're almost to our destination, I go, I forgot to grab a mask. So, I mean, that's the only situation where it's not that I didn't want to be compliant. So luckily she had an extra one in her car, but sometimes when somebody's picking me up, I forget to grab it because I'm so used to having them in my car that I don't necessarily have one on my person when I'm with someone else.
That happened to me last week, Heather. I had to take my husband's car for emissions testing, and my mask is in my car.
Right.
Well, it's a hard thing to remember.
Like, oh no.
We're not used to doing this. This is a new thing for us.
Those little The ones like Sandy's wearing, fold up and you can put one in your wallet or purse.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
this to do with the mask from Northwestern, the double mask. Put it in your purse.
We saw,
Carry a purse.
yeah, staff had an opportunity to watch a training session last week that really talked about communicating with individuals about these situations. And one of the things I think that I took to heart is the fact that even though we've been in this situation for a few months, it's very easy to forget.
Yep.
Right.
I've even found myself hopping out of my car to go into a store and forgetting to put my mask on. I usually remember before I get to the front door, but it would be very easy to forget until you're inside of a place. So we do also have to be a little bit forgiving in those instances and, you know, not immediately jump on somebody and say, you know, well, how could you not wear a mask? Of course you have a mask on. Just say, oh, did you forget your mask today? And the person's probably going to be mortified, and then
But
hopefully they'll come back.
we still, when we have grab and go, we still have the health ambassador or whatever you were calling it.
Yes, we have a greeter at the door to check for that. So, and those people have been really good. You know, I've been observing them, and they're all, again, upholding the welcoming atmosphere of the library. So they have found really
Enjoyed
good
it.
taste.
It's been very pleasant to do that.
Great. I'm glad you appreciate it. We did have a little accident today. Our door opener was accidentally dropped, so the automatic door is out of service. So the next time you come, you're going to have to grab the door handle and open the door yourself. And we think that's probably just going to be the way of operations from this point forward. Once we get the door opener fixed, we'll just reinstall it outside of the library or wherever it happens to belong. And if people would rather hit the automatic door with a stick or their key or something to open the door so they don't have to touch it, we'll leave that up to the people who are visiting us. But if you come, hopefully, if you come in the next day or two and the door doesn't automatically open for you, hopefully someone will be inside, like beckoning you to come in. So that was a new challenge we hit today.
Just like at the airport.
Right.
Turn around and-
We'll have our orange lights to direct you in. All right, we'll move forward with that. Thank you.
Such are the COVID trials,
Yes.
and more to follow, I am sure. So, we'll try again. Now I can't find anything else in my notes I forgot to mention. So I will ask if there's anything else anybody would like to bring forward or discuss. If not, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
I second.
Motion was made by trustee Stoll and seconded by trustee Rosika. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. This meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everyone, and thanks for your patience.
Thank you.